Okay guys, every good start drive starts with a computer link. I don't even worry about cranking the car until the computer's tied up, because I don't care what anything says or anybody says. I only care what the computer tells me, and if it says it is, I believe it, and if it don't, it's a lie. All these computers have a OB2 hookup, and they keep getting up in technology. Mine's actually can. But anyway, they all fix and they all fit each other, so no problem. I think it started in like 1996. I do have a computer that will read the earlier ones, but let me tell you what, cars that are 20 years old, the computers are crap anyway, so don't waste your money on getting one that does the older ones. They're real hit and miss, and it just isn't worth the time, effort, and energy and all that. Back in the day, they were just kind of all over the place. That's why they ended up with the OB2 system, so everybody'd have to be on the same page, which has worked out a lot better. Alright, so now I have plugged in my computer. I'm going to set it to a comfortable place. We're getting ready to be on live data. What's up, camera girl? Wow! Alright, train me on the dash here. Let me see the camera. Uh-oh. Mommy's jamming. What we got here? Okay. Alright, probably don't need all that. Okay, here's the first thing I'm checking for. These are called the ABCs before you ever get going. What is ABCs? The first thing I'm looking for is an anti-lock brake light and an airbag light. So let's trick it off again. Aha! There's your ABS light. And there's your brake light. So I have ABS and brake. Now the next A is the airbag. Where's the airbag? There it is. Okay, so I know my modules are working. Alright, so we go from A. B, of course, would be brakes. And C would be check engine. So the check engine system right here, we know that it's going to monitor. And it's functioning right now. No problem. So the first thing you're going to do is check your A, B's, and C's. And then the next thing we want to do is we want to come here to the mileage, and we want to trip sat 0, because we want to have a real accurate depiction if in fact the odometer is working, guys. That's a big deal. So ABCs down to the odometer before you ever get started. Okay, guys? Alright, now we've got our computer plugged up. It's time to start it up. It's a great time to check your safety belts and make sure everything is ready for go. It's time to hit my computer. And it's time to initiate a link. Waiting for the Jeopardy music. Ding, 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 ding. It's linked to CAN. It should be popping up any second. Uh-oh. So look at that, guys. We have a generic P301 cylinder 1 misfire detected. Never seen that before, but doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Don't tell your mom that's down there. She'll have a heart attack. But yeah, there's a Carman's car, dude, and we did not even know it. My particular one gives you a chance to do the enhanced DTCs. We're not going to worry about that. View live data. Now, what does this live data tell us? Here's the first thing down here that's important that anyone can read. The ECT stands for engine coolant temperature, and we're going to monitor that throughout the ride, and when we get back, we're going to know how warm it is. The STFT is short-term fuel trim. It can be plus 10 or minus 10. Anything excessive over that tells the system that there's a leak and you got a problem. Engine RPM, you should be able to match it with on the dash. Spark advances doesn't really matter as far as just that goes. The massive airflow, we can see that it's working. Throttle position sensor. Okay, let's go down to your OB2 or your O2 sensors. It gives you on the different banks. This one isn't picking up yet. It isn't warmed up yet. Okay, guys, so basically what we're interested in right this second. There you go, there's bank one. There you go, that's working good. O2 sensors are important, and it will tell you. I'm trying to get too advanced for you, so let's just keep it on temperature and the fuel trims, just to keep it simple, because that basically tells you your car's running at the right temperature and there's no noticeable leaks on it, okay? And let's see here. Vehicle speed right there. We don't need to worry about that either. Not to bore you guys to death. There we go. We got engine coolant temperature and short-term fuel trim, both on the same reading right here. Those are two very important ones. As long as each one are in check, I'm going to be pretty happy on this ride. And we're going to check when we get back, make sure we don't have any more DTCs. Okay, camera girl, go ahead and face me toward my odometer right here. Keep us down here. I'm going to put us in gear. And you want to check the indicator. That's your first sign. And always put the car in reverse to start with, just to make sure it's going to go, because a lot of times people tend to forget. And I cannot tell you how many times people buy a car with a bad reverse only to find out about it days later when they need reverse. It seems silly, but it's a new transmission, $2,500. All right, so as I'm test driving the car, gotta put my seatbelt on. Put my seatbelt on, riding down the road. Wait, camera girl, is your seatbelt on?
No.
Oh, put it on pause. Okay, guys, we're back in business. We're going to, first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this car where we can get up to speed. But before we do that, we're going to be I'm like a skip CD. We're going to be checking a few things. Like right now, randomly, I want to see what kind of my brakes feel like. So I'm going to lightly depress the brakes. No, I'm not. We're going into a green light. Wait for us to stop again. Wait, there we go. It's all good. So I just felt it. And what you're looking for when on a sudden deceleration like that, or just any, really not that hard of one, you're waiting for a little bit of shake inside of the brake pedal. And if you do, that's a good sign you need rotors. Also pay attention if you hear that whistling sound of the wear indicators on the brake pads. Could be time to change brakes. So that's your first two lessons right here on the test drive. This car has passed. Of course, I've got new brakes and rotors on it all the way around. Okay. Checking my blinkers, just kind of randomly start checking stuff. It's all good. Checking my temperature, still looking good. Getting ready to throw her out on a loop. Now, meanwhile, while you're test driving, it's a great time to start checking everything else out. AC feels good, and even in the summertime, definitely check the heat. Make sure it works. It's my car, so I'm not going to sweat for you, but check your AC, then check your heat. Randomly, maybe just check your horn. This is probably going to freak somebody out, but you know, you're driving down the road, you just need to make sure. The guy's brake checking me anyway. So there you go. I had a reason to beep at him. It works. Blinkers are working. It's all good. Now, I'm going to have my first stretch out on this car where I can actually get some speed up. And this is important. Never buy a car that you can't take to highway speed. Why do you say that? Because there's only one way to check a transmission, and that's to put it through its gears. All right, you want to hold on till we get on the 64 West.
Pause it?
No, actually, I think we got a green light, kids. Okay. All right, kids in interweb land. Woo! Here we are. We ready to roll now. Now, when you're test driving a used car, don't particularly give it mercy. You can respect it, but don't knock it out. But, I mean, you need to check it. So I'm going to kind of watch the guys in front of me. I'm getting on plenty of space in the front here. And we're going to check it out. I'm going to see if we got, what kind of passing gears we got. I'm at WOT, wide open throttle. 55, she downshifted just like she's supposed to. She's already in overdrive. I'm good with that. I feel stable on the road. I'm not feeling any shake. I'm I'm going to do a quick brake check. No one's behind me, just to see how my shocks feel. Everything feels tight. Just checked them. Going to do the one finger test. As soon as I get on straightaway. Make sure, okay, look at my steering wheel. It's not shaking. It isn't moving. Any kind of shake, any kind of movement, that you're either dealing with a tire suspension issue, something like that. Keep in mind that all costs money. So anything that you find wrong, this is a machine. You need to point it out, and you need to start making an accurate account of whatever you've got going on and you found wrong so far. This car's feeling good. I'm hitting the gears, and she's shifting out good. They've usually got state police around here, so I'm not going to really nail it. Check us out, man. Do some camera work, girl. Show them the lovely interstate. There you go. Here we go.
The car that stopped on the side of the road.
Yeah, the car stopped on the... See, that car didn't have a pre-inspection done. Brakes are feeling awesome. Good, good, good. I'm liking this road trip. What about you?
Yeah, it's fun.
Check your windshield wipers. They seem to be good. All right. Now, the next thing we're going to do, we're going to find somewhere to pull over real quick. Just so happens I have the perfect place. And what we're going to be checking is your CV axles. The CV axles are the joints that are in the front coming out of your front wheel drive transmission. And basically, when you make hard corners, if they're good, they'll be nice and quiet. If they click hard, that means you have a CV axle trying to go out on you. You don't necessarily notice it when you're driving, but you will notice it when you go into turns. And of course, the worse they get, the more evident it is. Let's see what we can do here. We might have to come down here to the old shopping center. Hey guys, how y'all like riding around with the car man today? I feel like we should be having the Dukes of Hazzard soundtrack. Just a good old boy. Yeah! Alright, so let's see, we're coming right up here. I'm really liking the handle of this car. I've had a couple opportunities now. I've got to go through the gears. I've got to feel it stop. Got to check out the electronics. I'm liking the AC. Me as a consumer, I'm starting to fall in love. I have not looked back at my computer yet. It doesn't matter till I get to the end of my trip. And we're going to check the CV axles, and we're going to make a final determination on the road trip. If we ever make it. So, Lolly, what do you think about the car so far?
I like the car. I want this car.
Of course you want this car. Only one problem, mommy dearest. Y'all think Jennifer's really sweet, don't you? Mess with her car. No, really. Don't do it. Don't mess with her car. Okay. Let's go right here. We're going to check the CV axles, guys. Sorry if this seems a little long. I'm trying to entertain y'all, but really important stuff here. All right. Now, believe it or not, the most important part about this road trip hasn't even happened yet. Okay, we check CV axles. Kind of show them how hard the car is turning. I'm going to cut the wheels all the way to the left. Cut everything off. Nothing. Ooh, glad I haven't been drinking yet. Now, move to the right. Awesome, awesome. Okay, so now what we know is we got good CV axles. We're driving good. Everything's good. One last test, guys. I'm gonna need you to get out of it. First, let's look right here. Engine coolant temperature 190. If a vehicle's over 195, raise an eyebrow. The depends on what type the thermostat you have, but usually Cars really generally don't run over 200 degrees on a normal basis. They can, but it's not very often. Okay, short-term fuel trim is exactly where I want to see. Let's go back to the random misfire, which I can just go ahead and get rid of before she has a stroke. It's probably something stupid. So we're going to check right now and see if there's any other pending mil codes. No powertrain, nothing's there presently. Go to live data. Bam, done. So this car has now passed the test of the drive test, and now it's got to pass the sniff and visual test. What is that, you say? I'm glad you asked. Get out of the car, ma'am. Okay, so the muffler tells you a lot about a vehicle, especially now that you've been on a test drive. What is it you say? The first thing you're doing? Smell the aroma. If you smell any antifreeze, game over. You have a serious problem with this car. If this exhaust is popping, or at this point, if it's showing any type of smoke at all, this is where it's going to be evident now because the car's been running. After a little while, the car should no longer have condensation coming out of it. But if it does have condensation coming out of it and you don't smell antifreeze, it may actually just be condensation. If you smell antifreeze, big red light, it's time to take it to a professional shop and get it checked. To the front of the car, please. Now, up at the front, same situation. I'm looking to see if I can smell antifreeze anywhere, because that means I have a leak in the coolant system. Big money. And also, I'm looking to see if there's any smoke coming off of anywhere. That's a sign of something leaking. Of course, it's my personal vehicle, so there isn't one. But, well, I say that, but I found a misfire code, so it could have been one. Luckily today, there isn't one. Alright guys, so now you've learned how to test drive a car, and you've learned what the use is in the OB2 system. And now what you need to do is to make a determination based on your Carfax information, the history of the vehicle. You now know how it drives. You know whether or not you have any gut feelings, of any signs of repair or disrepair. Did I actually go over the tires yet?
Nope.
I probably did in one already. But just in case I haven't went over the tires yet, guys, all tires have wear indicators on them. Come with me. Look inside the... It's going to be hard to sit, but when you look actually looking at a car, you'll see the wear indicators inside of here. Here's one right here. I feel it, but it's really deep. And anyway, you're looking for a nice even tread pattern. Even if the tires are thinner, you know, they're not even fresh tires. But keep in mind, tires can run $150, $200 a wheel. So if you need a set of tires, I mean, you could be dealing with $500 or $600 on the value of this car as well. Meanwhile, subscribe. Peace out from the car man. The next thing we're going to be getting into is the trunk compartment, because it is a biggie and it does affect your pocketbook. Peace.